opportunities that you have for us as far as just keeping our mindset high and learning the different options that we have to keep that resiliency high. And this is a special time, of course, during the holidays. Last time you were here, you talked about kind of the myth of more suicides during the holidays, that goes up, and that is a myth, of course. But today you want to talk about just some general guidelines of keeping resiliency high during the holidays.
One of the positive things about working in Rhineland-Pfalz is the commitment that we get top down with our leadership about maintaining resiliency. What feeds resiliency? What keeps us healthy when we understand that there's something involved in the human experience called resiliency and how we can enhance that. So I want to talk about that this morning. Yeah, I'm an old rocker, and there's a song, signs, 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 everywhere signs, and it's always about don't do this and don't do that. But let's talk this morning about what we can do to feed our resiliency, stay strong. I mean, on a morning like this, it's we could be sitting in that car and fuming and being really kind of angry, looking at our watch and over things we can't control. And in Rhineland-Pfalz, we have a leadership and a staff at the command level and also throughout the garrison that has the one message. So I wanted us to think about this idea that is being pushed out through the military services, that we need resiliency that has leader involvement. And that's what we have this morning. I'm sitting right next to the garrison commander, invited to come in and talk about this. We also need a lot of peer interaction. We need good peers. We need those strong junior leaders and beginners in the military that are going to step up and not be the bystander that later on says, geez, I wish I had said something to him and her. Whether it's about domestic violence, child abuse, suicide, all of these don'ts. I think our workforce has a handle on the idea of don't do this. However, do we really pay attention to the resiliency and get the appropriate care when we're needed? So think about that leader involvement, our peer interaction, and appropriate care when needed. And also think about 111. One connection. Where would you go? Who would you talk to in a time of stress over the holidays? Financial, something else that goes on. Just a feeling of loneliness that appears to be overwhelming. Who's that one connection? Keep that in mind, and that's a resiliency strength. That's a protective factor. Also, think about that one conversation. Are you willing to talk about something that's kind of eroding your resiliency? Have you said to yourself, geez, I used to get out more, I used to talk more, how come I'm shutting down? And then also keep in mind that it's not the big things that get us going. It could be one small act, one small conversation that you have with somebody. And all those things are really important.
They are very important, and I love that you brought up the positive aspect of it and focusing on what you can do instead of what not to do. Because so many leadership exercises, so many books that I've read that talk about leadership and changing yourself, growing personally, talk about what we focus on, whether it be do or don't do this, is usually what we end up doing, because our brain just has that way of working that thought through our physical actions. And so if you focus all the time on, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, it's much harder not to do that. For instance, quitting smoking, something like that. If you focus on it all the time, you're always thinking about what? Cigarettes, right? Mm-hmm. So then it's so much harder to quit. So I love that aspect that you brought up of let's focus on what to do. Let's focus on the good things, the things that will help us be resilient and help us stay at that highest point of our mental capacity. And so I want to talk to you about some of the things that we can do when we come back, some of the people that we can go to, some of the things that are right here in our community of support.